It's time for the hottest show in America. It's time for the Al Rucker Show, where you get the 411 from A to Z, special guests, and much, much more. So buckle up for a wild, wild ride. The Al Rucker Show starts now.
You tuned in to the second hour of the Al Rucker Show. You got Seven the Poet.
Man, hey, I intro jamming. I dance when the intro come on. I be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, give my best.
Make your feet be
your
tapping.
best cheer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You got no choice. And we got Nikki Woods.
Yes, we do.
And you have myself, Al Rucker.
We got Al Rucker Show.
Al Rucker Show. What we got coming up, Nikki?
We are going to continue our conversation about breast cancer awareness. We're kicking off October. It is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And then we're going to have a... Yes?
I just want to say for National Breast Cancer Awareness Month that people should support my movement to support.
You can't even get it out. Look at you. You can't even get it
When
out.
I thought I was going to say support breast.
No, this is
bra.
This is Feel Breast Month.
It's Touch Yourself
Yes,
month.
touch yourself.
Well, my shirt says, let's do our best to hold on to breasts.
And you should. And you should. We talked about this because most women, when a lump is found, it's found by their partner.
Yeah.
So we want you to hold on.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're supposed to feel.
We want you to hold on.
I find the lumps all the time. They be on the front.
We're going to have a fascinating conversation with Columbus Short, actor. You know him probably best from Scandal, but he is doing a lot of other good stuff. We're going to talk to him. We've got Ask Al, Ass of the Week.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk to a 2-time breast cancer. Yeah, I said Ass of the Week.
Why you accentuate ass and look at me?
I think we can figure it out. We're going to talk to Nia Matthews Brown about her survival and also her mission to help other women make it through as well. So all of that is coming up. But first, John Legend, who historically won some awards, and we are very proud of him. He has good night, and he is going to take us through.
Yes.
And we will be back with more on the Al Rucker Show.
Yep. You tuned into the Al Rucker Show. And we at that segment we call it's the entertainment segment, right?
Well, we're going to talk about entertainment type stuff.
And we're going to call it it's going to be some entertainment.
That's your new word, huh? Stuff.
Yeah, stuff.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And I got to say it like that. Like, you can't just say stuff. It's stuff.
It's all about how you say it.
It's all about the tone of it.
Stuff.
We're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna leave the tone. He's ignoring us right now.
He is ignoring us, but that's okay. So Cardi B, she was arrested. She was charged. She
walked out the station like a boss.
She did. She did walk out the station like a boss. She was charged with the fight in a New York strip club, but she did turn herself in on Monday. And they are also charging her with reckless endangerment, assault. She received a ticket, which means she was released and will be coming back, right, Al? And this charge, this is from August 29th, I think, where she threw a chair and all this kind of stuff. So I don't. Do you think she has anger issues? Like, I don't know. Like, then this thing with Nicki Minaj, all this stuff. What do you think?
I don't. Well, she says in one interview, I'm ghetto, but I'm not dumb.
Right.
Anger and bravado, man, it's a key component to settling disputes in the hood. You know what I mean? And in the nightlife. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
My bark is as loud as yours, and so is my bite. People want to show that often.
So it's about like street cred for her as a rapper, or just how she grew up?
I think it's how she grew up, and it
Yeah.
also has to do with who she is in society right now. She got to be a little drama. You got to have a little.
I mean, think about the song. She told you in the first line.
Mm-hmm.
Lil.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You got a little.
You know what I mean?
That was nerve wracking.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to talk about Kanye, but also Justin Bieber. He just recently married Haley Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's daughter, and he is very proudly saying he married her without a prenup. Good thing or bad thing? I'm just curious what the men
Sound
think
like
about
Kanye
this.
to me. This boy led with his heart. He should have used his head with that situation. Come on, B.
Well, I mean, the daughter, she
said
paid.
too, but I'm just
She
thinking
said.
of it as like, is it a business decision? I mean, people always say if you get a prenup, then you're going in planning to fail.
Disappointment.
I mean, he truly in love. He's still young. Well, I understand that. I understand.
Stupid.
So,
it's
okay,
stupid?
so let me just ask that. Now that everybody's kind of gotten to a little bit of success, the three of us I'm talking about, if you had to get married again, would you ask for a prenup?
I definitely would.
7?
We want prenup. We want prenup.
I'm
Yeah.
getting a prenup, too.
No, I definitely would.
I'm getting one,
I
too.
definitely would. You ain't taking nothing.
I
Well,
would get a
nothing that you didn't
prenup.
come in with.
No,
I would get a
you leave what
prenup
you-
because I've learned that it's a lot of girls out here with nothing.
Well, that's the problem. You got to marry somebody that's bringing something to the
Hello,
table.
that's your fault.
Yeah.
Where you looking for these girls when
Man,
you
I
find
ain't
the
looking
girls
for no
with
dining
nothing?
room sis because when she looking into my eyes, she talking to rooms to go.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know what that-
I
I
can
don't even know what that
imagine.
meant.
I can imagine how the dating game is nowadays.
It's crazy.
I can imagine that.
It's
I can
crazy.
imagine. Is it even worth dating? Or are you? What's the purpose? What's the end goal of dating? Are you looking for that soulmate? Or are you looking for somebody to marry? What is it?
I think for me, it's closer to a business decision now.
For real?
You know what I mean? I mean, I
Yeah.
want somebody that I'm compatible with, but I'm much smarter than when I first got married.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, I want that, black knight to come in and sweep me off my feet, and we're going to live happily ever after. And for now, I think I just know so much more about the process and what it is and how it feels that I'm looking for somebody who's responsible, financially
Yeah.
secure. I mean,
Yeah,
it
that's what I'm
really
saying.
is.
It has to be a situation that I
Yeah.
mean, they have to walk into with something.
And you know where I'm at in
What?
this season? She can have, all the assets in the world. Peace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you gotta
That's
have
a
some
good
peace.
one.
Peace,
Yeah, peace
is
is-
big with me now, man.
That's a
If,
good
if
one.
you full of drama, and I'm gonna have to be, explaining myself, switching up how I move to accommodate. Maybe I'm outside of sacrifice. Maybe it's not the best thing for me, but I am Ebenezer Scrooge when it comes to
Yeah.
relationships, man.
Well, but I think that as you've lived your life, like I don't think that I need to be up under somebody all
No.
the time for it to be a relationship. I mean, I think that you can live your life and we can build together, and you have your identity and I have mine, and go to Jamaica with your boys. I mean, do whatever,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
maturity.
Well, that's
you know
how
what I mean?
my wife, me and my wife is like that. She just got back. She was on vacation with her girlfriends, and they was in. I think they left Houston, went to L.A., and they went to L.A. just to get massages. I was like, why y'all going to L.A. to get massages?
Ooh, y'all are bougie.
It's a massage parlor we like to go to in L.A.
A massage parlor?
Yeah, they went to.
You might want to ask more
I
questions.
don't know, whatever. A spa.
Okay, yeah, say
a
spa.
A spa. They went to a spa in L.A. So at the end of the day, they
look at your credit card bill. You might have somebody on her name, Malachi.
hey, look, that's her credit
That
card.
is so
She got her
funny.
own credit card.
All
But
right,
anyway,
real quick before we go, I definitely want to bring up Kanye. He was on SNL.
oh Lord.
13th Amendment, obviously he's going back through his history books and
Jesus.
trying to learn some things, and he went on a complete rant. It was 2 minutes long, but we're just going to play a little bit of it. So for those of you who don't know, the amendment, this is the one that abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime. And, he's, started this off with Sunday where he had the Make America Great cap again. And, he wrote, this represents good in America becoming whole again. I mean, it's a hot mess. But I think that the people saying now that Kanye is doing this for publicity,
I
it's
think so.
just, I don't think so.
Well, I think
I
it's
think he's off his meds.
I think it's a little bit of both. And Kanye, I think you got to ask yourself: is Kanye crazy or is Kanye a genius? He's
I
one
think
of the
he's
two.
both.
He's one of the two.
But I think most geniuses are crazy.
But
But
yeah,
the question
yeah.
is
the
he
same.
is he
Yeah.
really crazy or is he crazy as a fox? Like is he smart in his crazy
well,
or no?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this. Due to the status that I have reached, some of my friends would say that I do things that are crazy. The fact that I travel as much as I do is crazy. The fact that I'll spend as much as I'll spend on my vehicle is crazy. The fact that I'll spend as much as I spend on my home is crazy. It's a different mindset. Kanye is in a mindset of freedom that he can do and say whatever he wants. So,
That's true.
So
you know,
you're right. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
whenever you get to that status, you can do whatever you want.
That is a very good
You
point.
wake up in the morning saying, "Okay, what am I going to do today to entertain myself?"
right.
You know,
You done it all.
We're gonna piss off all of America. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna be
That's
a
what
pigeon.
Kanye
I'm
right.
gonna be a pigeon, just fly over the city. You'll get that in a minute.
We've got Perrier Darling. I'm not going to even go there. We've got Perrier Darling. That is on the way. We've also going to have some really good conversations on the show. Ask Al out front. All of that is still waiting for you. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. It is the Al Rucker Show.
Yeah. You tune back into the Al Rucker Show. 7 the Poet. Got Nikki Woods.
Yeah.
You got myself, Al Rucker.
We do.
What we got going on? 7, you just said wow real big. What was that about?
Man, I saw a post that I couldn't tell if it was a building or a bus, but it said "Women for Kavanaugh," and I mean,
There is a whole boys will be boys rhetoric that's going around, and it's coming from women, which is shocking to me. But there was a little clip of a group of women. There were about 5 women, white women, sitting around talking about this situation, and literally they said, and maybe we can get at least to pull a clip so that you can actually hear it, but they said all boys do this.
Yeah.
Boys will be boys. This is what boys do in high school.
I've never raped anybody.
I ain't never did. I ain't never raped
I mean, it
nobody.
was the most ridiculous comment from a group of ridiculous, and they were all nodding and agreeing. And then you see the meme with Trayvon Martin, and he's not a boy. He's not a boy. He's not a boy. And then you
Right.
see Brett. He's the boy.
He's a boy.
He's the boy.
I mean, it was. And if you did, you all actually watch the
I watched it.
the hearing?
I watched it. You had to watch it. It was
I'm
for
sorry.
sure TV.
I was not
It really
watching.
was.
It was.
I
for
was
sure
not
TV.
watching the proceedings as much as I was watching his wife behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was hilarity. Her facial expressions, the memes. Oh my God.
Yeah. It was.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, because he really did come off a bit ridiculous. And Soledad O'Brien, I absolutely love her on Twitter. I mean, she will call you on the carpet as she's always done in her career as a journalism. But they talk about women and their emotions, and then you saw her testify, and she was like, "This is what happened. This is the fact. And he was like the most emotional wreck I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is who we want on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Really? It was a mess. But you're right. There is a whole conversation that is going along that is excusing his behavior as boys will be boys.
And I just don't get it. I don't even know. You know, it's real disappointing to learn how things actually work. I always use this story. I used to love to go to Astroworld until I worked there, and I got to see the trash at the end of the night and smell the sewage and see the size of the rats. You know. And it was less attractive. And that's where we are as a country now. We get to smell the sewage and see the rats.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
it's terrible.
Bush had nominated him for the Court of Appeals back in 2003, and he had a problem then. He got stalled for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I mean,
he said
and
he
people
was
are
too
coming
partisan.
out. The FBI now is investigating. He is not going back to Harvard to teach. I mean, it's coming down. But there are just so many. And what I love about these things is all the fact checking that's done afterwards.
Afterwards,
So
yeah.
they show all the discrepancy, all the lies, everything that he's telling that's not really true.
Yeah.
So you can't be a Harvard professor, but you can be
A Supreme
a Supreme Court.
Court judge.
That is
But
ridiculous.
who nominated him for the Supreme Court?
I don't care.
No, who nominated him for the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
Trump.
Trump.
I mean,
Hey.
it makes perfect sense.
The apple don't fall too far from the tree.
It makes
Yeah,
perfect
it's
sense.
all retarded, man.
Yeah.
I just don't.
So he's trying to put as many people in there that think like him.
And even now with
Take
the
advantage of
FBI
women.
investigation, they say that it's not going to be made public. Like, why wouldn't it be made public if people are voting to put him in the Supreme Court and we can't even get the results of the FBI investigation?
Why wouldn't it be made public and we pay their salary?
Yeah.
I'm just
But
saying.
I think at the end of the day, so what you think the outcome is going to be?
I think he's going to be on the Supreme Court.
I do too.
Yeah, I think so.
I think. I mean, the Republicans have already confirmed him. I mean,
Listen,
now
man,
we're waiting for the Democrats.
I don't know what to do with my life anymore. Apparently, I can do anything and be a politician.
No,
Yep.
you can't.
No, you
No,
can't.
you can't. You can't.
You can't.
Says who? You're crushing my dreams right now.
Well, I don't want you.
I,
I'm sure
I can do anything and be a politician.
you cannot.
you
Trump
cannot.
can.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh can.
Look at
Bush can.
Look-
You cannot.
you cannot. Look at all the just keeping it. Look at all the black politicians that have gone to jail for doing little things.
I just watched a documentary on the mayor from New Orleans that is in jail now because
Oh,
of.
Nagin,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I
think
mean,
of
you cannot.
even in Houston, Ron Reynolds.
Yeah.
Right.
Ron Reynolds went to
You
jail
cannot.
for bartering. That's crazy. You got to do 1 year in jail.
There was a man, we went to Birmingham, Alabama, and the mayor was like in jail doing interviews. I mean, you cannot do it, and you cannot. So it's a fascinating conversation. It is going to continue to develop, but you cannot stay away from this.
Nah.
And so, like I said, they're literally giving updates as we're talking about it. So make sure that you're informed, because this definitely can affect the country.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot more coming up, including a conversation that I'm extremely excited about. Columbus Short, we're going to talk to him. Ask Al, Out Front, Ass of the Week, all of that is on the way. So stay tuned. We are the Al Rucker Show.
Yep, we are.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. As always, you got Seven the Poet, you got Nikki Woods, you got Lala, and you got yours truly, Al Rucker. And we got a special guest in the house as always. We got Perrier. Darling, how you doing?
I'm thirsty.
You're thirsty?
Yes, I'll have a drink. Where's the Perrier? The mineral water, the green bottle, where's the gold top? Any of that.
You've been working on that all day.
No, I'm going to settle for this First Street.
Okay.
Purified.
So, Perrier, what you got for us today?
Oh, my God. One of my favorites today are up. The Migos. Yes, they are. To me, the Migos are the kings of trap music.
Okay.
Yes. And then this is their song called Call Casting. Call Casting is the name of the song. Let me pop it for you one time. Where's the clip? Yes. This is a no-brainer. But you all feel free to chime in anytime you want. It says, put the Addy in the Navy. Addy. I love the ad libs, like, so that's a Adderall reference.
Oh.
Or Addy as an address, and the Navy is not a navigator, but navigation.
Okay.
The Addy in the Navy. Addy.
Okay.
He's steady popping. Now it's a cap.
Okay.
I know. I'm sure you
Yeah.
know that is. Nikki, what is it? Tell me, upper crust Jamaican.
Bust a cap in that ass. I've heard that before. The same thing.
You are so unthreatening as a gangster.
Well, yeah, this is true.
She said,
Bust a cap. Isn't that a thing?
It was a thing.
It was a thing.
Was
Probably
a
like
thing.
20.
So now it's Thank you, Lala. So now it's like.
Now they
it's pop.
say no. Now they just say you don't want any smoke.
yeah, you don't want
I'll see if I can work that into conversation.
Yeah, because
Later
way
today.
you said it wasn't threatening at all.
I'm not trying to be threatening.
Well, you going to bust a cap in somebody's ass, you better be threatening.
Then he says, "I hit the jungle,
That's why
then
you only
adapt."
say it when you're holding a gun.
No, you be.
I can't see it.
You don't want to.
I'm a bust a cap in your.
No, you don't want to do that.
We're on the same team.
No, but
Lala.
you got to say it like this here. You keep messing with me, I'm going to bust a cap in your ass. And then you turn around and start walking.
That sounded convincing.
How to catch a
Both-
charge?
all-
But see, you setting yourself up because that's like how you catch a charge 101.
No, but if
you're
you-
driving business.
Wait.
Hello.
Wait,
But
period.
Back to
Yeah.
But if
See,
you go to
look what you done
jail,
started.
if you go to jail, I got you. I'm going to get you out.
That's what I'm
Promo.
saying. This
It's-
is like a
it's fine.
commercial.
It's fine, though.
All of you are
Okay.
not threatening at all,
That's right. Go ahead.
and I'm
Sorry. Okay, come on.
Trip, trip.
blah, chip, chip, blah.
See, you can't even be serious with it.
Come on, Perry.
Okay,
I'm
Perry,
sorry,
darling.
I'm
What
sorry.
you
Come on,
got?
Perry. What
We're
you
gonna
got?
start
Then
over.
he says,
Now-
No, we got Perry. He got to start.
This
He's a
is,
professional.
I hit the jungle, then adapt, meaning you have to become a beast, an animal. Roar.
Okay.
30,000 on the couch, 30 bars. Oh, my. When he said 30,000 on the couch, I was thinking maybe that he wrote a $30,000 verse and laid the verse on the couch on a piece of paper. But no, I think he means pills. 30,000 handlebars on the couch. For some people, that is a beautiful consideration. Then he says, all of my chicks are from an app. Instagram and the Snap.
Yep, snap.
I bet 100 on the craps. That means I can actually afford to gamble at the table that he gambles at. $100 table, yes, I could do that, but there's some tables I would not. I just put not go there. But maybe. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
I am excited to be here today and thirsty. As there's no Perrier on this table. Do we get to drink Perrier?
No. Because if I catch somebody drinking Perrier, I'm going to bust a cap in their ass.
That's how you say it. That was good.
You see what I'm saying? That was convincing.
That was convincing. I moved
And I ain't even have a gun in my hand.
I am thinking of changing my name to Topo Chico.
Sometimes you just got to bust a cap. You ever just get that feeling sometimes you just want to cuss somebody out? You just got to get a good cussing. And then you feel relieved. You ever had that feeling?
This has been Perrier signing off.
You ever just woke up and just had to cuss somebody out?
Why you keep talking to me?
No, I'm saying. I mean, because you got kids.
I look like I cussed them out right now.
Yeah, you just get up and just start cussing people out.
I'm joking, but we not joking about this. We have more coming up on the Al Rucker Show. We have Ask of the Week, Ask Al, Out Front. All that is next. Stay tuned.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You got Nikki Woods. You got Seven the Poet.
Say, man.
And we got a special guest on. We got a special guest on the phone.
I think we have a special guest on the phone. We have Columbus Short. Columbus.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
So he's a film and television actor, producer, singer, songwriter. He's best known for his role in ABC's Scandal and The Losers. He's choreographed videos. He's done it all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. You guys forgot director, though. You know, that's really bad. It's important.
And only a director would direct the interview and tell us to put director in there, right?
You gotta throw that in there, you know. It's just something that
He wants all. You gotta give him all the
give
credit.
you all the credit. You're right. You want all the credits. I understand. So tell us a little bit about how you got started, because I knew that I heard that you directed, music videos and did that kind of stuff. But how did you actually get started in the entertainment business?
In the entertainment business was, the long and short of it all. My mom, I was an athlete, and then, growing up in the hood, but I went to church every Sunday. I was at church. I was at Wednesday Bible study, Thursday choir rehearsal, Friday men's meeting, musicians meeting on Saturday, and both nights, Sunday morning and Sunday night church. And, I was raised around incredible musicians like Nissan and Rapture and Eric Seats and, all those guys that worked on Aaliyah's project. So I fell in love with music very early. I come from a long line of musicians. My family members. And then, the acting bug hit me very early. I grew up next door to Megan and Romy and Dee shot the Taltons. And so we were just kind of this group out there in Canyon Country, California for a season that were like, our moms are just managers and we just got on the grind. It was crazy.
You said your moms were the managers?
Yeah, my mom managed me. Megan's
How was
mom
that?
managed her.
How was it? How was it having a momager?
But it was awful only because your mom, you just want your mom to be your mom.
Exactly.
But being, as a momager, she had that hustle. She had that true grit that got me up on through there. You know what I mean?
So now you have a new movie that's going to be coming out, or at least just newly released, based on the New York Times bestselling author Terry Woods, her urban classic, True to the Game. That is like one of my favorite books. How did you get involved in that project?
Well, initially, the first installment of that franchise came out this last September. Not this one, last year. And I got involved through Manny Haley. He came to me and he said, "Look, I have this source material. I have this title, and I want to get this movie up. I need your help to come. I need your prowess." Your producerial prowess or whatever to come and get this done. And I was like, say no more, I got you. And I loved the piece. I loved Terry's work, so it was a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
It was a no-brainer.
And then the play that you're working with now is called Sleeping with the Enemy. Terry J. Vaughn, Pooch Hall, yourself. What is that play about?
It's called Sleeping with the Enemy. It's I come from a theater background, musical theater. I'm a drama major, so I love being on stage, period. But to see what's happening right now, and there's a new group of emerging young, necessarily young in age, but young in career age in this field, young playwrights that are coming in, and Lawanda is one of them. She's coming in with a great show. She's a woman that had a checkered past that reformed her life, and that's basically what the show is about. It's like, it's her story. So it's pretty awesome. And we did a run of it a few months ago, and it was great. Me and Pooch and Amina. So we're excited to have Terry on, and we'll give it another quick run and have some fun. You know what I mean?
No, I got it. So very good. And that's going to be happening. There are 2 shows, Saturday, October 20th. You can get more information at jfbaileyproductions.com. But Columbus, I think that if we didn't talk about it, we would kind of get some feedback from our listeners. Can we talk about some of the challenges that you've had since Scandal? How have you pushed through that and then come back to where we're now seeing you back on stage? We're seeing you in movies. We're seeing you do all these great things.
That's a great question, and I'm going to answer it honestly. And I'm going to say the first reason is nothing but the blood of Jesus, like God, man. Like, it was only Him. If it wasn't for the Lord, like, I would not be here.
Right.
And I'm not even trying to be preachy. I'm not trying to be preachy, but I know the covering and I know the call. So understanding all that stuff, that's what got me through. I had some super challenges, and it felt like every time I took a step forward, I was taking 9 steps back. Every time I got a little headway, and because I was out to sea with no sail and like kind of no direction. Everything I made a mission from when I was a very young man, a very young boy, to do what I set out to do. And when everything I've worked for, everything I trained for, everything I had built my life on, was swept from under me. I was out here looking like a mystery for a second. Feeling like a mystery as well. So, it was nothing but just, look, what am I here to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be a great father. I'm supposed to be a great husband if I'm married, right? Now I'm married. I'm supposed to be a great, friend, brother, son, all of those things. Work on me first. And as I started working on me, then, things kind of just started, the ice started to crack a little bit. Right. And then next thing things start to kind of happen. And then, God just works it out. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. I just know that, I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to see another year, and I'm ready to just go kick some real proverbial butt on screen and off screen and behind the screen for others that are just as talented as me. Right. I'm not the only one.
But Columbus,
so I'm excited about that.
So Columbus, with all the trouble, the things that happened to you, what have you learned from that?
Oh man, that would be a whole nother show just for that. Like, we would have
just
to do a show
give me the short version, because you know
what I really learned. You know what I really learned is that first you got to be honest about complicated emotions. So there's a thing in the forefront. I don't suffer from bipolar. I don't suffer from manic depression. I don't suffer from depression, but I do have other things. I have anxiety, bad. Generalized anxiety, I have chronic PTSD. And so those things were one of the things that it's mindset. And those were the things messing up my mind, because if your mind's not right, then you're crippled. I don't care how talented you are. Mm-hmm. If your mind is not right, you cannot execute a thing that you think you can, period. Mm-hmm. So it's first just really learning, keep your mind right and your emotions. I know I'm passionate about things. I get passionate, but my emotions, how I handle my emotions, dictates who I am as a man, as who I am as a person. So, learning those things, those skill sets, putting new tools in my bag. I didn't have the Allen wrench. I didn't have the, you know what I mean? But now I'm putting those other tools in my bag. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I've really learned. And that's just a truncated version. But yeah, it's a lot.
I love that you said truncated. I'm just going to be right. I'm going to be stuck on that for the rest of the day. Yep. Well, they say you can't have a testimony without a test, and I think that for you to be upfront and honest about the things that you've gone through, and now how you've been able to push through, and you're a living testimony that you could be at the very bottom, you could be at the top, then at the bottom, then back at the top. Yeah. It could be done. So we definitely appreciate you.
much is given, much is required, and if I would say anything, I would say anything to upcoming people. Ego kills magic.
Wow.
We have to get out of our way in order to be successful. So even when we are successful, be very careful when you get success. Be very careful when everybody's singing your name. Be very careful when everybody's singing your praises and all your press clippings look A1, because that is right when the fall is going to happen. So be aware, be humble, and be gracious with the gifts and the platform that we're on. It's very important for us to be responsible with the platform we're on.
That's
especially
a t-shirt.
Right now.
That is a tweet.
That's
that
a t-shirt. Ego kills magic. That's a t-shirt.
That's awesome. And so Columbus Prey has one of my favorite Instagram accounts out there. So definitely hook up with him on social media. Support his projects, Sleeping with the Enemy. You can get more information on our website as well. And so thank you, Columbus. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to come hang out with us.
Thank you, Al.
All right, no problem.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Columbus Short, you guys.
All right, Joe. Bye.
Thank you.
You tune back into the Al Rucker Show, and as always, you got Seven the Poet, you got Nikki Woods, you got Lala, you got myself, Al Rucker, and we're at that segment we call Ask Al, which happens to be my favorite segment.
Why?
Because it says Ask Al.
Okay. When the name is in the title.
Hey, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Lala, what we got going on?
Okay, this one says, Al, my coworker has a body odor problem and I can't take it anymore. I dropped all kinds of hints like air fresheners on my desk, but nothing is getting through to him. My girlfriend jokingly suggested that I play Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk in front of him or leave a Febreze coupon from Target on his desk. I actually thought about it, but I don't want to be rude. Our call center cubicles are next to each other at the back of our office in a high-rise building, so there are no open windows. Please. Plus, he goes to the gym twice a week at lunchtime. I guess I need to be transparent and tell you that he's also from a different country.
Oh, yeah.
No, you can read into that however you choose, Al. But I think you get the hint. I've mentioned the issue to my supervisor and was promised a cubicle change as soon as one is vacated. So I'm trying to hold on. You and your team are good at problem solving, so I need you guys' help. Please help me out. Signed, I want to work from home. Houston, Texas.
Go ahead, Lala. I'm going to let you lead this one.
It sounds like it stank. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I think it's just a thing of being mature and pulling your coworker to the side, honestly. And I know it's crazy, it's taboo, but people be afraid to say, look, your breath stink, people are talking about it. I want to tell you. Address it.
Yeah, I actually managed somebody and we had that issue. Like people were, it was just very offensive, and it is a human resources issue. So they can take some action if it is offensive to the work environment.
Yeah, but it's a human resources issue. As a coworker, you know what I'm saying, what give you the authority to tell me how I need to smell or tell me anything, especially if we're on the same level. Well, if they don't have that kind of relationship, you know what I'm saying, then whomever the person that wrote the letter in is putting themselves in jeopardy. I would play from a point of power, which is I'm in control. I would go to an ear, nose, throat specialist and get a diagnosis that I can't handle severe joints.
You take them with a doctor's note.
Then go ahead and get some paid leave.
Take medical leave because I already went to management and they told me they was gonna change my cubicle, right?
And they
ain't changed.
So
handle
now,
that. When y'all handle that, hit me back.
That's funny.
But y'all gonna pay me.
That's smart.
But I'm gonna tell you,
y'all gonna pay me until y'all do.
But to tell you, what stuck out to me was in the letter, he said he's from another country. So, and I had this experience years ago when I was.
And please don't name a country.
No, I'm not gonna name a country, but it was a guy who worked with me. And he had the same problem.
Right.
So
he was from Brenham.
No, he's so crazy. But at the end of the day, I went to him. I say, bro, you got a little older right there. He's like, in my country, we don't wear deodorant.
Right.
And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, we don't wear deodorant and we don't use toilet paper.
Wait, what?
We didn't have to add that part.
He didn't use toilet paper.
So,
because
what about baby wipes?
They have bidets.
No, they don't do baby wipes either.
So what? But do they wipe?
They have.
I didn't ask him that. But when he told me that, I was like, bro, you nasty.
We need you to go back and ask.
No,
I need the information.
No, I'm not. You never ask a man, hey man, how you wipe your ass? Don't do that. Listen, they use Bidets.
They
use what?
the
bidets,
bidets,
the toilets that rinse.
Yeah, so they just use.
So they wash.
They let the water. Yeah, you know what? He did tell me that. They
wash.
Yeah, and I said, where do you wash it? And he said, in the sink.
They have a lot of those in Jamaica, but I never
wash his head.
I think we still use toilet paper in Jamaica.
Now I got in my house in Jamaica. We got a regular toilet.
Some of them have
it's
the
an
water
addition.
gun
It's not just the only
from the sink.
No, my house was built.
The water gun from the sink?
Yeah, like the one that you use to rinse the dishes with.
I'm not saying that.
They have some attached to the toilet.
Yeah, I was going to say you have a toilet and a bidet. You don't have one or the other.
My old neighbor, she uses toilet paper, but in addition to that, she said every time that they use the restroom, they use soap and water and a washcloth, and they do like a mini bath every time.
That was my mom.
I could see that.
Yeah.
This
has been bathroom talk.
But I got a homeboy. Every time he goes to the bathroom, he takes a shower afterwards.
So all in all, what would we advise her to do though?
I told her, go to the doctor.
I think that's
play from
genius.
from a position of power. Then they're in no rush to change her situation. She's uncomfortable.
As someone who employs people, that ain't gonna work. She can go get a doctor note all day long.
But I think you have to make it official. I think that people are going to tell her, and it's going to become a combative situation because she's going to get defensive, or he's going to get defensive. So I think you have to make it official, and I think it has to start being on the record if you really are going to get her to change her behavior.
Because let's say she go to him, and then he writes to HR. Now he feels he's in a hostile work environment.
Yeah, which he can do that.
Right, but now she in trouble just because he stinks.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is she needs to upgrade and find another job. She ain't working in the cubicle no more.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break, but we will be back with Out Front with Nikki Woods and more.
Look at Sarah, he's like, yeah, probably for you to
on the Al Rucker Show.
Good luck, girl.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. As always, you got myself, Al Rucker. I am the host of this show, the Al Rucker Show. You got Seven the Poet.
Say, man.
You got Nikki.
I am here.
And we got a special guest in the house who's sitting with us today. It's Derek Muhammad.
Peace.
Nikki, what we got going on out front?
Yeah, we are out front today with Naya Brown Matthews. She's a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and I absolutely love her energy. We connected a few years ago.
Congrats.
Yes, so happy that she is still here, leading the charge and just motivating us. And so I wanted to talk to her because it's National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we are out front today talking about breast cancer. So you were 27 when you first experienced that. What was that like, getting a diagnosis at the age of 27?
It was super, super scary because at that time, at 27, I didn't even know anybody with it. It didn't run in my family. And fortunately, I had just buried my father, who died of lupus at 50 years of age. It was like a double whammy. It was very, very surreal for me.
So you've been in a remission about 4 years now. The second time you were 37. And I think probably the most inspirational thing to me about your story is your relationship with your husband. She's married to Eric Matthews, who's a Super Bowl champion. And just the support that he gave you. What was dealing with the challenge of cancer? How did that impact your relationship and your marriage with Eric?
Well, when I first was diagnosed, clearly I was alone. I was by myself. It was just me and my daughter. But when it returned at 37, I didn't even tell my husband or my daughter that it had returned. I was at work and I passed out at work because I should have just went home after my treatment. But I kind of wanted to work through it. I didn't want to be home and be reminded of what it was that I was dealing with. So I didn't tell my husband, not just to be malicious or anything like that, but I consider myself a pretty strong woman. I didn't want it to affect them, like on the mental level of handling something that's, that news. So when he found out, when they called him and told him that they rushed me to the hospital, he said, Naya, why wouldn't you tell me something like that? And I'm like, well, clearly, again, it wasn't malicious. It's just that I didn't think that you had the mental capacity to handle that. And when I tell you, they said you don't see a man cry. My husband cried, and it broke me down to see him cry.
Right.
He was like, "Why wouldn't you want to tell me something like that?" Because I want to carry that with you, and as much as I can. So, if anything, it brought us closer together.
Wow. What advice? What do you say to women? I mean, you've started a powerful series. I love it. It's called Soul Food Sessions with Naya. Your latest book is Soul Food Sessions, 21 Days to Elevate Your Life. What is it that you say to women? Like, I think that we all kind of think like, what would we get if somebody told us that we were terminally ill, or if we get some kind of diagnosis? Like, how would we react? How would we handle that? What advice do you give when you meet women who have been newly diagnosed?
I mean, life still goes on, right? But just because you're being hit with an obstacle, whether it be cancer, divorce, whatever that thing is, you cannot allow that to hinder your joy and the things that you remember. Because a lot of times, sometimes we get something like, diagnosed with cancer, and oh my God, it's a death sentence. But this is 2018. We press on. But what hurts me most is when I see women that come to my retreats, they kind of sort of harbor that. And when you harbor that affects your the treatment. It affects you're able to heal faster. It affects, even your mental capacity, because we don't want to let people know, hey, I got cancer, but I'm going to keep pressing. I don't need you to remind me that I got cancer.
Right.
Life's still going on. But sometimes by us harboring that, it just makes it worse.
So I know you were recently named a Ford Warriors in Pink ambassador because of your tireless work with the Too Fabulous for Cancer initiative, where you provide surprise glam makeovers for breast cancer survivors, as well as monetary donations for all of the expenses that they may have, like babysitters and co-pays and gas getting to and from and parking at cancer treatments, etc. How important, because you're always fabulous. I mean, I don't know how many, you must do like a photo session every single week, because you show up on Instagram like bam, like all the time. So how important is it for women not only just to continue to go about life, but also to feel good, look good, have a beautiful smile? How important is that to the recovery process?
To me, I always had the concept, if you look good, you feel good. And even me going into chemo and radiation, I would get dolled up. I would put on my wigs, my makeup, and I would just march in there. And I owned that thing. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to, again, be reminded of that I had cancer, because, you do lose the lashes. You do lose the eyebrows. You do lose the hair. But, when you look in the mirror, it put me, Naya Brown Matthews, in a very dark place. So I wanted to be fabulous like I always was, and I wanted the women to feel the exact same way. So when I was blessed with the opportunity of people reaching out to me and saying, hey, Naya, I have wigs to give you, or, Naya, I want to do a makeover or a photo shoot with you, I was excited to be able to, I'm sorry, that's my dog.
Yeah. They want to participate.
She does. My husband just walked in the house. So sorry. So I wanted to just give them that same thing that meant so dear to me, to them.
You know what? I want to go back to this, because I think it's really important, because as people who may know somebody with breast cancer, or may have a friend that's diagnosed, or a wife or a daughter, and you say, I don't want to be reminded that I have cancer, but I think from somewhere in us, we want to be supportive. What advice do you give to those who are who know somebody that's dealing with it? How can we best be supportive? Is it, kind of case by case, or?
Yeah, but you got to let them go through what they go through. All the time people say, oh, you're going to be okay, or they want to remind you that you have it. Some days I just wanted to be in a room and I wanted to cry. Just let me cry. Some days I felt like I wanted to get out and be great and live my life. Let me do just that. But I'll just give them respect and the space and the support. And you can kind of sort of gauge, everybody's different, but kind of sort of just listen, to what it is that they're asking you. But again, sometimes people get all caught up and I get it. They are compassionate and they care, but just listen to what it is that they're telling you that they need at that time.
Awesome. Well, like I said, your latest book, Soul Food Sessions, 21 Days to Elevate Your Life. And like I said, that's your latest book. So you got some more. So you are, I think it's a 3-time author, right? How many books have you written?
This is the second one.
Okay,
Yeah.
second
It's
one.
like a self-help book just to help you elevate your life, mind, body, and your soul.
Well, I am a huge fan. I think that you are phenomenal, and I really do appreciate you. You can learn more what's happening with Naya at soulfoodsessionswithnaya.com. Follow her. I encourage you. Follow her on Instagram and Twitter. She is amazing when it comes to motivating. Naya Brown Matthews. Twitter, it's Naya B. Matthews. And I just appreciate you. I'm so glad for the connection, and I thank you for what you do for all of us.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Naya Brown Matthews.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. It still got 7.
Hey, man.
Don't be so excited.
No, that's my boy. That's my boy. Nikki Woods.
Yes.
Al Rucker. Hey.
Hey.
I gotta answer myself.
Hey.
Gotta answer myself. What we got going on,
We
Nikki?
are at Ass of the Week
Ooh,
moment.
I can't wait.
We are at Ass of the Week moment, and I want to talk about a man who is friends with another man and decided that he no longer wanted to be friends with that man. In fact, he wanted to kill that man because they objected to a Bruno Mars song.
Wow.
It's like, I'm trying to think, like, how many people he was arrested. He didn't actually kill him, but he pistol whipped him. This happened this happened in Indiana. It was a longtime friend. There was an argument over a Bruno Mars song, and he just decided he couldn't take it anymore. And I just want you just to take a quick guess at how old you think these friends would be. Like, how old could you be to possibly want to whip your friend over a Bruno Mars
You
song?
got to be in your 50s and up.
Well,
Because the youngsters don't pistol whip people.
well, that
You got
is true.
pistol whip, dog.
That is true.
That's
But
old school right there,
but it's
bro.
Bruno Mars. So he has a young fan base.
Roger was 71 years old.
Wow.
They had been friends for 50 years.
Wow. 7 was right.
They were at home. Roger D. Washburn, he now faces charges of battery, criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon, and they had been arguing whether or not Bruno Mars actually sang a song or not. And not only now is he going to be probably going to jail, he is officially the Al Rucker Show Ass of the Week.
We're going to send him a shirt. We ought to come up with
We
that.
should
Let's
come up with a shirt with an ass on it.
Yes.
Well, that's obvious.
No.
Yes.
We
Yes. And
That's
send it
obvious.
to him.
And
Send it to him.
Everybody should get an Ass of
Of
the Week shirt that wins Ass of the Week.
We're going to get you one.
I love it.
We're going to get him.
But is it going to be like a donkey ass or like an actual ass? That's
It
the question.
it ought to be a real attractive woman.
No.
Because people will wear that. I'm not wearing no shirt with no donkey on it.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, because people think you're what? They think it's a political
But
shirt.
I'll put a shirt with a young lady with a nice figure on it.
You could do that.
But doesn't that take away from what we're trying to honor them for?
Is it really honoring?
Well, no. Well,
What if it be an ass with some toilet paper hanging out of it?
you guys got to go to YouTube and see.
Oh,
Seven's
and
face.
then the toilet paper can be scratch and sniff.
Yeah. Ooh. Or it could be soiled. It may be
You mean like an actual physical piece of toilet paper, like hanging out of the shirt, or
Just
a
scratch-
picture of the toilet paper? Because you're
picture.
scratching and sniffing and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
you could-
that is right. That scratching.
Yeah,
stuff.
you scratch
Oh,
it.
Jesus.
Yeah, then you scratch it. It just smells like.
You are worse than my teenage boy.
Wow, that would be good. We're gonna do that. I wonder if we can get that patent. Scratch and sniff.
No. You could get the Ass of the Week shirt patent.
That's
I
what I'm
don't think you
saying.
can get
Scratch and sniff the
from-
shirt.
Wow.
That's like smell-o-vision. Can you imagine?
Look at his face.
Can you imagine if your TV smelled? If you could smell things through your
I
TV?
think so. We had a great show.
You can tell what he
Because
watched.
Night of the Living Dead would be, smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
We had a great
I
show.
bet that could be interesting.
We're moving off scratch and sniff.
Okay.
We got to thank Columbus Short for stopping by and hanging out with us. We got to have him back because I think
got
there
to.
is so much more to
So
the
much
story
more.
that we need to get into.
Man, you know, the thing with Columbus Short, with my personal thing with him, I thought dude was like, super square.
No.
No.
Nah, he I think he hood.
How many times he's been to jail?
Yeah,
bro.
he,
Yeah.
He ain't doing it for
But
the gram.
I was really shocked on how honest he was.
You know what? And we had to ask him.
Yeah, we had to ask
Even
him.
though I know that he's trying to move on, and Scandal, he was done with Scandal a long time ago, but he just has continued to find himself in situations. But he was very honest
Yeah.
about it. And so I think that there's more, and I'm glad that he's talking about it because I think that there are other people in his situation that are are not doing it in the public eye that could get lost.
That could get lost.
So I'm really proud of him. National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We talked to Nia Brown Matthews about her journey. We did self breast exams in the studio. So if you missed that, you can check it out on YouTube.
I didn't.
Would you like to do yours now?
They good. Let's see.
He is so odd. If anybody's ever seen Terry Crews without his shirt on, he always does that muscle chest jumping. Muscle thing up and down. 7 is doing a version of that. It's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, when they jiggle like that, that's to me, they not supposed to jiggle. They're supposed to just rock.
I don't think Terry's jiggling.
He's doing so fast. It's jiggling.
I think that's a lot of muscle. I don't think he's jiggling.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see men with their shirts off. Even on TV, if the shirt is off, it's on to me.
You did.
You got the T-shirt filter.
Yes. As soon as they come on TV and the shirt is off, there's a filter come on.
And we got to thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Of course, we will be back with more good stuff, more conversations, more lots of stuff. And always don't forget to follow us on social media. Hit us up, ask us questions, weigh in. We always want to hear from you. So we will be back next time.
Yes.
Say goodbye, fellas.
Bye-bye.
Deuce.
7 forgets he's on radio at times. Nobody can see that.
The Al Rucker Show.